Hello, hello, fans of the franchise Premier League. We're back after a very, very short break, probably the shortest of the season because Shrew and I just yapped so long about our favorite character, Senna. I mean, I love seeing Senna on my team too. I just love getting free heals all the time. And I think the Black Mist is such an interesting skill that you can use as someone who plays, very short-ranged 80 carries, being able to kind of hide in it and just dash at your opponent on something like a Lucian or like a Samira is quite fun. But I'll send it over to you, True, just as we get over to this early game. Feral Eevee's just going against Banana Breeder. They're trading poke, but it looks like pretty standard lane so far. I don't think any team will have a large advantage starting off.
Yeah, standard lane's relatively standard stuff, and just to continue talking about what we were discussing earlier, um, fleet footwork is something you can go as Senna. I mean, you do it more for the movement speed to chase down and get your additional proc for the soul. Although I will also say that getting soul procs isn't as important as Enchanter Senna, just because yes, your heal does scale with AD as well, but it's not the biggest priority in the world. The bigger thing is just getting a tier stacked up when you do have it, as you mentioned. But in terms of setup with everyone else, nothing too surprising, although I will say that the Fool having PTA, I'm not 100% sure that is what you go for on J4. If not, if it is, then color me a bit surprised. But if not, then I just not. I just don't think that's what you go for on J4. I might be wrong.
No, no. Yeah, as a guy who used to enjoy a lot of J4 back when I still jungled quite a bit, I think the 99 times out of 100 you're going for that Conqueror rune. So it's interesting that the
Yeah.
full went for that. Maybe a misclick, but maybe wanting to, just amplify the team damage and play more of that supportive. But I mean, Jarvan doesn't have great tools to really activate the PTA, so I'm a bit surprised because I think the bonus stats from Conqueror are actually what make the champion quite dangerous in the early game because you're constant, your EQ already gets you 4 stacks. You hit them once, that's 6, and you just stack up Conqueror so quickly compared to
Yeah.
some other champions. But yeah, pretty chill lanes for now, and we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, certainly should be rather relaxed. I mean, we can see, at least in mid lane, Feral Eevee is taking quite a bit of Banana Breeder's health as a chunk out. Bot lane, a little bit of trading is going to be inevitable, but I don't really expect too much damage or real strong kill threat from either of these lanes. In spite of the fact that this is double range, you do see that both supports have heal. You can see the Fool, I was going to say maybe trying to wrap around Banana Breeder. Actually looks like going to kind of commit for that, looking at the Raptors, not going to find anything.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no, the ward should spot out Ruxcat, though.
Okay, maybe the Fool goes for the Flag and Drag gank here. The slow hits, the Arcano Pulse is charged up, but it's a flash away from Banana Breeder as he throws out the Seer, doesn't hit the stun, so it is a forced flash from Banana Breeder, which means he'll be very likely to have a repeat gank on that lane later, so good initiative, I think, from the Fool to leverage that early Jarvan pressure when the Kindred can't really do the same to this Aerith.
Yeah, and that's a good response. Seeing the Kindred show up on the ward you just laid down means you know exactly where Kindred is. You can just force the gank, get the flash for free. If they're bad on reaction time, you get the kill. So yeah, I'm absolutely certain that the Fool and Feral Eevee are very happy with how things went there. But otherwise, it is a bit of a wash, right? You don't get any strong gold advantage out of it. And in spite of the fact that so much damage has gone onto Banana Breeder, Feral Eevee is actually, 2 whole waves of CS down in terms of gold. So definitely not a great time to be had. And I think the other thing that I do want to draw attention to is that the Xerath does have Ghost as well. So Banana Breeder able to TP back into lane, continue farming so you don't really lose all that much from getting forced out early on. And Feral Eevee has to walk back. And, you are down on CS, and then, that deficit might be extending itself at least a little bit here. I think that was a little misclick on the range creep. But yeah, I would certainly say it's somewhat frustrating for Feral Eevee to be in that position, even if you get that flash out with the Fool's gank, just because you don't have TP. I do think that the Ghost is an interesting call. Xerath is not a champion where I think most people look at that and say, yeah, I want Ghost. I want the chase down. Xerath, ideally, you aren't really chasing anyone down. You're hitting them from 2 miles away.
Oh, shocking orb hits. The Fool is in position for the Flag and Drag. It hits into the right of the Arcane for just an easy cleanup. I mean,
Oh,
you can dodge one, you can dodge two, but Banana Breeder goes down for first blood. Now on the top side, the counter gank is happening. Rexcat chasing down Reginald Dwight's Scion. Sentinel hits the Shadow Dash for the taunt, but the Soul Furnace for that health, for the extra shielding. Reginald Dwight does burn the flash, but that does mean he survives in this scenario. So yeah, the counter gank on top side responding to that mid lane gank. I mean, one goes the way of Everstone Elite, and it's just the flash being expended by the Scion, who's so difficult to kill. Like you said, True, before draft, this is a very difficult champion to get ganks on if you want to focus, and that means you see the jungler on the top side. That is going to be the first dragon picked up by the Everstone Elite easily.
yeah, and you do see like going straight for drag is a good response. You do see Kindred up there in the top lane, so you're saying like, okay, well, we see where Kindred is. We know that our mark isn't on anyone here. Like our mark isn't her mark. Sorry, isn't on Reginald Dwight. It's on the Xerath. So yeah, let's get the dragon. And you can also see that Kindred's camp mark is on Gromp right now, and that still hasn't been taken. But I'd imagine that the Fool won't let that go for free. So yeah, I do think it's kind of playing towards our expectations of the fact that
The Fool actually invading on the red buff. Do they think they can get the smite fight? They
he's
do.
level 6.
Lands up
Yeah.
smite successfully, but they're getting run down, and the bot lane is coming to support. Can the Fool get out in time? He's going to have to flash a little Banana Breeder, hits the Conflagrate into the Seer for the stun. Pillar of Flame doing big damage. Is there enough damage to kill the Fool? It's a flash forward from Rexcat. Does have the Mounting Dread. One more stack of it would get the execute damage, but I think just barely the Fool is out of range. His name might be the Fool, but that was somehow a calculated big brain play, but that means that Gromp might go down for the mark as the Senna walks up, gets the root into the Cataclysm. That is Kindred, not level 6 yet. The healing is there. The Fool is trying to outsmite this, but he cannot. Rexcat gets the smite into the level 6, into the ultimate for a little bit of time still left. Tries to jump away with the Dance of Arrows, but still will go down. It's going to be that first mark collected, but it is going to be Everstone Elite picking up that kill as, oh, is this play still going? No, they chase out Poofin, who did burn both flash and heal as Matrix walked for the damage. So that is now 2 kills for just a single mark on the Kindred. I think Everstone Elite are pretty happy about that one.
I did a little quick stack check. Right, Rexcat does have 2 stacks, so I believe Rexcat got the Gromp stack.
Okay, nice. The Scuttle Crab 50-50. We love to see that.
So, but like at the end of the day, right? Like it's still not a great time to be had. Like you're committing a lot. Oh my gosh, so many souls. So good for Senna. But I mean, look, that's like 5 souls in a wave.
That's 5
like,
souls. That's
so
like 6
happy
AD or something. I don't actually know the conversion, but that's
it's
a lot of
just
souls.
5. It's 1 for 1 on the AD. But
that's half a longsword right there.
Yeah, I mean, like the thing is, that Senna doesn't get any AD per level, so it's not as glamorous as it might appear. But like, yeah, if you are Kindred in this situation, like yes, you get the stack, but you're also kind of facing the reality that you are behind on tempo, right? You as Rexcat, you did see the Fool just pretty much walk up to your red buff, yoink away, and then you commit a lot of resources in pursuit killing Jarvan, and you still have to deal with it afterwards. Potential collapse coming
here. Oh, have to flash away from that. As we see now, they're fighting over these grubs. The Shen walks over. Sentinel taking some damage, but the taunt onto two. Senna's very low, but a huge decimating smash onto Rexcat means the stun hits, and the Fool picks up another one from the right of the Arcane, doing big damage. The artillery is here as the Ghost for the chase down. We were talking about this earlier, True. It's working as the Flag and Drag goes in. The Lulu is alone here in this 1v4, and I don't think they're getting out scot-free. The decimating smash just gets the slow. Is there enough to get this Lulu? It is. Feral Eevee picks up the first kill for themselves of this game. A beautiful fight from the Everstone Elite means that 3 kills, I believe that was, go over to them, and as well as the Void Grubs uncontested. It's coming up all money for the Everstone Elite. Sorry, that was the 2nd kill for the Xerath, so Feral Eevee is very happy to, get some EXP in that fight.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, like, things are going so well for the Everstone Elite now. Like, getting so many kills into your Xerath and your J-Force pocket. Obviously, you want as much gold as possible. Oh, wait, Rexcat coming in.
Rexcat coming in here. It's the flash follow
Lot
for
of
the Seer. It
damage.
is going to be A-Hop going down, but now the Jarvan is in range. They're going for the Flagging Dragon. Misses the Cataclysm, hits into the Arcano post. It's big damage, but he doesn't actually have the items he did not buy. So now the Stand United Sentinel flies in like a superhero and picks up the shutdown. A lot of money for this Shen. I think that was almost 700 gold. The Fool tried to back up the Everstone Elite team, but just did not spend the gold already. So it was just a low health, low item Jarvan trying to make a difference and goes down in that play. Means the blue buff does get stolen. You know, we thought things were in control for the Everstone Elite, but we see some cracks forming here.
It was a good read by Rexcat, you know, just seeing this immobile Senna in mid lane, you know, possibly keeping track of the flash timer, knowing that Senna's really vulnerable there. And yeah, you, as you said, you know, you did see a potential punish coming through from the Fool, but unfortunately, Shen ult, like, still very, very healthy. It's still a big shield no matter what, and it's only going to get bigger. And unfortunately for them, the damage just wasn't quite there, and they're able to get a really solid punish. 2 free kills off of that, but I do think that the one thing that DE, the Dota enjoyers, need to be looking at is this Xerath, right? Like, Feral Eevee does have 5 stacks on a Darksteel at this point. Top lane as well, Reginald Dwight extremely healthy versus Sentinel. And while this is a bit of a wet noodle fight, you can see that this Scion does have that completed Heartsteel in the inventory, so just working on stacking up as much HP as possible. A Hop, as you can see on the Senna, does have the pickaxe as well as Ruby Crystal and Longsword, so likely working on that Black Cleaver that you mentioned. But, and like, yes, you're right. Oh, a little bit of a fight.
Wait, the root hits the right of the Arcane activated. Somehow we missed the Dragon, but I think this is going to be the Fool picking up Rexcat as we see the stun. Cancels the ulti, but the Fool is beaten down on the Kindred. Flashes over the wall. It's the flash to follow, but it's going to be the Cataclysm that shuts it down. Hop collects it with the ultimate. And now, on the other side, Thundermaster flashes to pick up the kill, and now Feral Eve is getting run down. Matrix is here a little bit late to reinforce. Fully stacked Lethal Tempo doing big damage, but the trades are going in the favor of the EVs as we see big damage going out. It's going to be Matrix collecting a couple here as Banana Breeder goes down. Thundermaster just barely surviving. The bot lane walkout just limping, but still the play goes over to the Everstone Elite. The one thing though is that in that scuffle, Rexcat did collect that dragon, stopping the stacking for the Everstone Elite.
Yeah, it's pretty vital to get that early dragon in. You know, you can kind of extend that and condition that timer out a little bit longer. And for this scale and team comp that DE have, certainly something that they're happy seeing. Sentinel now has Heartsteel as well, so you're just going to see even more of a wet noodle fight up towards top lane. But DE, even though they do get that dragon, I honestly say, you know, you need to start sweating a little bit. This Xerath does have, you know, 8 stacks on that Darksteel. That's what we're talking about. Like, this is a Xerath that wants to chase you down. They want to exploit movement speed if possible, as it seems. Obviously, Medjai's can give you, you know, that extra 10% movement speed at a certain point. So, and we were discussing this before, but DE, they also don't have a lot of backline access. You know, they can't really pressure this Xerath. So if Xerath stays alive, if Xerath stays, you know, mobile, then what can the Kindred do? Like, you're kind of just hoping that some rogue ability will DC that mid laner. And if you don't get that, then DE, they have a lot of work cut out for them.
Absolutely is. Yeah, it's just going to be a wet noodle fight in the top lane, just trading for the Heartsteel, but the snare hits onto this Jinx. Wow, big damage from the Essence Reaver proc. Can Matrix in range? Flashes over. It's the Wild Growth in response as Matrix tries to get the kill. Super Mega Death Rocket does go down, but Feral Eevee with the 3-pointer gets the shot onto Thundermaster, even forcing out the flash from Poofin with that extra hit of the right of the Arcane. It's doing big work for that bottom lane. That's going to be a kill on that Jinx, who was still behind. Just barely finished the Yuntal on that back, but that means extra plates for the side of this Sivir, who's going to be very accelerated with that extra money and forcing the Jinx out as we see, wow, taunt flash onto the Scion as Rexcat's going up here. Dance of Arrows to get a little bit closer. It's going to be the flash and the Unstoppable Onslaught. Can the Mounting Dread get the kill? It does. The percent health execute actually wipes out the Scion, so it's flash ults invested for the flash of just the Shen. Nice effort from the team of Dota enjoyers for Rexcat to see that angle, barely managed to get that last auto attack while Scion was still in range and gets the execute. I'm not sure, True, if you see that's a stack or not, but that still is a big kill, allowing that Kindred to stay on pace of the game.
So the Kindred does have third stack off of that. I'm not sure if that the mark was on sign. I think it might have been. But yeah, like,
certainly the Kindred's starting to be a bit of a bright spot for the side of Dota enjoyers. Getting that kill, it's just nice to have. And really, like, it was just that fadeaway, right? The mounting Dread, having that little bit of execute damage meant the world in terms of killing Reginald Dwight. But it does seem as though Everstone Elite, they are going onto the Rift Herald. They're just trying to keep the pressure up, keep that pushing advantage strong. They are going to secure that for themselves. So I'd imagine they want that pressure to just keep mounting up. And one thing I did want to touch on, like that previous fight that we saw, towards the mid lane, you did see the Jinx get excited. And if that fight happens, maybe 5 minutes later, maybe it's a bit more meaningful. But this early on, that get excited passive just really wasn't enough to translate anything positive. And it just highlights the potential issues with this comp because you have to wait for the scaling to come
through. On the mid lane, but look, Rexcat is trying on the Xerath. It's Ahop trying to now run away, but now they dive onto Thundermaster behind the tier 2 turret. As we see here, Ahop barely gets away with the Black Mist, and it's going to be the Rift Herald charge going in. And now on the wrong side of the Rift is the Dota enjoyers. As we see Rexcat taking it very low, trying to trade back with the Senna. He has to pop the ulti. Matrix now throwing the boomerang blades for big damage. Cannot trade back. It's Rexcat going down, and Poofin looking for something and can get nothing. It's the Everstone Elite again running over that team fight as they just have more members. The positioning was better. They took down the tier 1 and they made it so that they had to push Dota enjoyers to the other side. I mean, it was a valiant effort, but it was a 2v4 by that point. And yeah, just great positioning from the side of the Elite to take that fight. They take tier 1, and I think the game is fully in their control right now.
Yeah, that fight happened in one lane, but really in 2 locations. As you could see, the Fool popped Rift Herald behind the turret. They get that execute down, and they're able to run down Thundermaster. And Sentinel did throw down Sandy. That's a rank 2 Shen ultimate, right? That was the full value of the shield that they got, but unfortunately, there's just so much damage. They're able to kill the Jinx. The Shen can't arrive in time. And on the other side of it, you saw Rexcat as well as Poofin. Initially, they got aggressive on Feral Eevee, but then that Xerath, you pop Ghost, you pop Flash, you run away. So then the call was like, okay, we can't get Xerath, let's go for Senna instead. Ahop able to get away as well. And by the time the Senna creates distance, the collapse comes through. You can't stay alive as Kindred and as Lulu at that point. There's no Shen ult for the save. Brand is not in the area either. So this is just a pretty catastrophic situation to be had for the side of Dota enjoyers because there's just not much they can do in these fights. I mean, I do gotta say, bring attention to the fact that Banana Breeder here as Brand just hasn't really been able to get much done. Does have that completed, Blackfire Torch, but there's no CC threat. There's no Rylai's. You're just prioritizing burn, but you're also not in these team fights. You're not getting that Pyroclasm down, so it's really difficult for this Brand to have much of an impact.
Yeah, the Fool taking a bit of damage. It is heavy posturing here from the side of Dota enjoyers. DE looking for something. I mean, there's not much to fight for. Rexcat does get the the Scuttle, as maybe they'll make a play onto the Xerath. I mean, he does not have Flash or Ghost as Rexcat's walking up on Sentinel a bit too far for the Shadow Dash, but Feral Eevee getting chunked out by that mounting Dread. Rexcat, can he get in range? He flashes forward for it, as we see Feral Eevee gets a huge shield from the Dawning Shadow, and now the Cataclysm to keep Sentinel closer. Oh my god, it's a super play as the entire Avengers arrive. The Everstone Elite bring everybody to the party, and somehow, someway, Feral Eevee, oh my god, he got sniped by the Super Mega Death Rocket! I was on a monologue, and I did it too soon. I am so sorry, as it's going to be a huge shutdown, actually going to Thundermaster. I thought that was completely positive for the side of the Everstone Elite, and somehow, someway, Thundermaster gets the snipe, but maybe is in a bit of danger here. Drops the Flame Chompers, but can't get in range for the Rockets. Matrix is very dangerous with that 2.5 items. Chunking out with the Ricochet. The turret, tier 2 down, is very low. Not going to go down because the wave is gone, but wow, what a crazy series of events. Banana Breeder, or sorry, not Banana Breeder, they're full Cataclysms, the Shen back in, so we cannot get closer to finish off Feral Eevee, but Feral Eevee still goes down to the Mega Death Rocket from downtown. Just a crazy set of plays. They're going for this tier 2, but Ahop's taken very low. Rectech, can he get the kill? As it's going to be Sentinel getting the ultimate off. The channel hits, the flash forward for the damage. Matrix trying to kite out with that Call of the Hunt. Feral Eevee's here, hits the Shocking Orb for the stun. Rex got taken very low by the Arcano Pulse. Right of the Arcane gets the snipe, and now it's going to be from the backside. It's Reginald going for the ultimate, and now Banana Breeder is here doing big damage to the Fool, taken low as well. Thundermaster on the Jinx is finally pumping, but I don't think they can get much more. It's still just going to be a hop down for the side of Dota Enjoyers, who's very close on Matrix's Sivir, but they can't get the kills. It's just going to be the 2-for-1 in favor of the Everstone Elite. Okay, I'm going to just take over a color for a bit here because I'm not sure what's happened with True. And probably will be jumping back in here very soon.
Oh my goodness, I was muted.
Oh, he was muted. Okay, True. Yeah, tell us about what you think.
Talking earlier, and then I muted myself and I forgot to unmute. But yeah, so obviously, Dota Enjoyers were super happy to get that like injection of gold onto Thundermaster. That gold that they got from killing Xerath was enough for that second item. And Jinx is creeping ever closer to that 3-item critical mark where you're really starting to feel relevant. But that doesn't suddenly mean that their job is done, that they're suddenly in a very healthy position, but they are starting to express themselves. They are starting to look for fights. Rexcat looking for A-Hop again.
Oh my god, Feral Eevee just explodes him. Rexcat didn't even have chance to hit the ultimate and just dies to the combination of that eye into the Q as we see Sentinel getting jumped on. But the Cataclysm to Banana Breeder, like we said, forces out the flash. You don't have any way of getting out. As soon as you use that flash, you are vulnerable. So it's going to be the Fool getting another key cooldown there off of the brand. The jungle fight goes, again, purely in favor of the Everstone Elite. Rexcat, I didn't even react to that, so I don't think he could have just instantly exploded by the Xerath on the 2 items.
I mean, you take a look at what Feral Eevee has, right? You need these 10 stacks on Darkseal, completed Luden's Shadow Flame as well, and then you have the upgraded Magic Pen boots. It's a whole lot of damage, and a target as squishy as Kindred doesn't have a hope of surviving it outside of pressing R or having Shen Shield and or Lulu ult. But yeah, like at this point in time, Feral Eevee very, very happy with the amount of damage you're able to throw out. It has turned that Darkseal into the Magi Soul Stealer. So anticipate that Xerath getting ever stronger if Dota Enjoyers cannot repeat their previous success.
Shut down. So that's the route over to Brand. Okay, never mind. I thought that would go for the Scion, but they're not going to go for it. It's just going to be third Drake taken. I don't think Dota Enjoyers are going to contest it. I don't think they should. True, yeah, take us away. What do they need to get back into this game?
I mean, you need time, right? Time is the biggest factor for this team. Obviously, Jinx needs to hit that critical 3rd item. Kindred needs more stacks. I mean, like, the big issue for Kindred in terms of stacks is, like, how are you going to get them? Kindred, Rexcat's still sitting at 3 stacks at this point, 22, almost 23 minutes in, actually running towards the Raptor camp right now to get that 4th stack for themselves. But that does mean that, mid lane, it's getting sieged up. They don't have a substantial front line, as we pointed out in draft. Shen isn't here. Shen's defending top lane. Shen's trying to push out. So yeah, like the entirety of Dota Enjoyers, they're getting pressured on the map. There's not too much that they can really do. They have to concede where they can. Obviously, they can't roll over and let Everstone Elite have everything, but they need time. They need to buy time for Jinx to get to that 3rd item. Kindred needs to get more stacks, get more items. Shen needs to get tankier. This is no like. Oh my god!
You were
sorry.
in
I was like shocked in the silence. Yeah.
But Banana Breeder literally died in between your words. So I mean, Feral Eevee just picks up a freebie. 14 stacks on the Magi. That's big damage. Oh, maybe Rexcat thinks he can do something here. That's a lot of armor on the Scion. Misses the Decimating Smash, but Rexcat is just tickling the Scion.
Yeah, but you're jungle. You're showing on bot lane. That's Baron.
Exactly. Now that's going to be Baron from that show, like you said, True. And Baron is going down very quickly. They're staying so healthy from the center. I mean, Super Mega Death Rocker just to scout, but this is going to be a freebie for the Everstone Elite. Call it the bonus points that you get from Professor Oak, because they're just going to get that one for free. Reginald just going to ult away to keep safe, and great play to stay safe on the weak side. Free Baron, you have the push, you have the Sivir to push out waves. I think the next fight is going to be a decisive one.
Yeah, I mean, like, what I was going to say is, this is not to put Sentinel on blast here, but typically, if you really want to have Titanic and feel super relevant as Shen, you get Titanic first. Like, yes, it might seem a bit like, oh, well, why would I get Titanic first when I can get Heartsteel? Heartsteel still gives me access to damage. Shen has a shockingly high amount of damage if you rush Titanic. But if you're gonna go Heartsteel first, and you're finding yourself in this situation where your landscape as Shen is to play for disruption, play to punish someone diving onto your Jinx, I would question if Titanic is the exact thing that you want. Like, yes, you still want to be relevant in the side lane, and Titanic can, serve you further in that pursuit. But at this point in the game, you have to be aware that like your game plan isn't to match the Scion, it's to keep Jinx alive. And in that regard, I would just want to be generally tankier rather than look for something like a Titanic Hydra. Maybe I'm wrong in that, but that's just my personal opinion.
No, I totally agree. Something like the Knight's Vow would be great here to keep your Jinx alive. I mean, one thing that oh my god, big damage. Oh my god, even bigger damage from that Arcano Pulse. This is Hyper Beam from Eevee, I think, not even just a Arcano Pulse, as the last one has to burn the Shen ulti Stand United used, but it's canceled by the Scion on the top side. Can Reginald look for something? I think they're just going to have the Wet Noodle fight, so I think we're going to jump back bot because it's going to be bot lane tier 3 destroyed. They're on the inhib. Big damage onto it does go down. Feral Eevee just having an amazing game. As we see Sentinel getting hit by the decimating smashes, big damage. Reginald has the Baron empowered minions for the backup in this fight. Rexcat taken low by the damage from Feral Eevee. It's a flash out from Sentinel. No access to the flash taunt for those priority targets in the next fight is so big for the side of Dota enjoyers. They don't have any way in. The Baron waves continue to smash into the base, and they're gonna have to take a team fight soon because Dragon Soul is coming up, and their base is in shambles. Oh my god, big damage again on the Brand. He's going to go down to the Boomerang Blade. The Wild Growth wasn't enough. A-Hop has to flash away from the Kindred who follows, but the Get Excited from the Jinx Thundermaster finally activated. The Flag and Drag for the disruption. Rexcat now taken low from the front line. Huge damage from the Arcano Pulse. It's going to be the Lamb's Respite used just to make sure he doesn't waste away. The Cataclysm into the back line. It's going to be unstoppable. Matrix's ricochets killing everyone as Thundermaster, the last one alive. Can't do much there. It's going to be just a great team bait from the Everstone Elite to draw in Dota enjoyers to the death zone. The Cataclysm seals their fate in this, what was a very one-sided game one, and I think it's just going to be all deuces from there. Everstone Elite take game one in a pretty dominating fashion.
Yeah, I mean, like, ultimately, when you have these scaling compositions, and you and I have talked about this several times before, Kevin, you need someone to usher you from the early game to like transition you like from early game into that late game. You need a bright spot team, and ultimately it kind of felt like every lane wasn't really efficient in getting Dota enjoyers like out of that spot.
Hello, Franchise Premier League fans and viewers. Thank you for tuning in to Game 2 of Week 5, Season 3 for our Fearless League. It's going to be the Everstone Elite who took a commanding Game 1 against Dota enjoyers who are looking to bring it back to our fated Game 3 that me and True seem to always cast. As we jump into the game, it looked like pretty standard lanes. Yeah, it's going to be the Maokai support like you successfully, guessed there, True. So, going to be pretty rough lane, I think, for Maokai against Jin Karma. But, if they get close enough, that is a pretty dangerous target with that Twisted Advance as we jump into the first couple minutes of the game.
Yeah, I mean, also moving away from the discussion about, like, what are we going to see from Maokai? And also, I do want to say Matrix does have lethal tempo, so likely going to be that more on-hit oriented Varus build, as you mentioned, Kevin. But
that's my guy.
I do want to say, like, Rexcat is going something I really haven't seen in quite some time here, which is Cassante Jungle. Not to say I've never seen it before, but I haven't seen it in, like, a long, long time. And I feel like, for the most part, Cassante has been relegated to just playing top lane. So we'll see how this pans out for DE. Oh, wait. Here in mid lane, Feral Eevee eating a nice chunk of damage.
Yeah, big damage on the Vex, actually, doing great work hitting that binding across 2 targets there. As we see, level 2, Prio goes over to the bot lane of Dota enjoyers, very obviously, double ranged. But yeah, I've never seen Cassante jungle either, and I don't know how I feel about that because I kind of blanked that out, and I thought that was Mundo. I thought that was Mundo in the jungle, but I guess it's not. So we'll have to see. I mean, the clear seems fine. but I'm not sure if it'll be good later on. I don't know how this champion's gonna function.
Yeah, it really does seem quite interesting to me. I mean, the other thing you see is that Rexcat does have aftershock, so really wants to like just throw himself in there potentially. Um, I have seen the discussion before about like aftershock as Cassante can be potentially bad because if you proc aftershock and then you ult while aftershock is still active, you lose even more resistances afterwards. So you have to be a bit more cognizant of that if that's what you want to go for. Top lane, though, Sentinel seeming to be having a way better time here than in game number 1 as this Mundo just trying to shove Poppy in, use those cleavers, although in this case, briefcases, you just pressure, you have a lot of magic damage access through that ability. But otherwise, lanes seem to be rather healthy for the side of Dota enjoyers at the moment. You can see all 3 of their lanes up on CS, all 3 of their lanes, pushing, trying to be aggressive. Those early pings on to that Scuttle Crab.
Oh, wait,
Looks
the
like
Fool getting caught out here for
caught.
the Scuttle Crab. It's going to be the Pathmaker missing a nice use of the Audacious Chart to get out of their Thundermaster, or sorry, Banana Breeder misses the Light Binding, so it's not going to be a kill. Just a, smooth escape from, it's not Secret Agent Xin Zhao in this team, but as we see the re-engage actually onto the Maokai. The Lux has no mana, so they might be able to go on her. The Smite secures that. It's going to be First Blood over, but it's going to be a trade over on the Maokai. Now Rexcat taken very low, gets killed by the Hail of Arrows, the lethal tempo.
Fool's in the back.
Value here, as we see on the other side. Both bot laners have to flash out. The Fool now going for the re-engage, gets the win, becomes like the flash forward. Matrix sets it up for a double kill for the Fool, and what was just a... I don't even see what happened in top lane, but somebody died there too, so it's going to be 5 kills on the map within less than 5 minutes for Everstone enjoyers. They're very happy with how that Scuttle fight went. I mean, Rexcat secured the Scuttle, but all of his team, including himself, died in the process. I don't know if that was a good trade.
I mean, the Scuttle Crab for Ace, man. Like, it's one of the classic blunders.
Classic C9 blunder.
Yeah, like, okay, we've seen some... Everyone's seen some bad early games, right?
This might continue the bad early game. This is a flash twisted advance onto Banana Breeder, but he hits the snare for the slowdown. Banana Breeder almost getting out of this. Can Feral Eevee hit the fear? Actually doesn't get it, uses it on the shield, the personal space, so it's going to just be the Lux walking up with the Fool going for this fight. Pathmaker into the wall, as we see Rexcat is a level up. He is getting some decent damage with the Natofo strikes, but Ahop is here. He's going for the re-engage, as we see here, the Fool taken very low, but now Feral Eevee is in range, has the fear charged up. Can they hit it on the right target? They're not going to go for it. Okay, they're not going to go for it, so I think it's going to be chill from here. Feral Eevee, I think if they hit 6 off this wave, they could go for a dive on Banana Breeder, but, just some scuffles. Flash used for Ahop, but nothing else other than that.
Yeah, a little bit of a moment of anti-synergy for the Everstone Elite's comp there, as you saw Ahop go in with that twisted advance, and then the Bramble Smash actually popped Rexcat out of Feral Eevee's, Mistral Bolt. So it actually meant that Rexcat able to stay alive potentially in that situation because he missed out on the damage from Vex. But off of that early fight win, off of the so much gold injected into their team, you can see Everstone Elite getting extremely aggressive, just trying to force out where they can, pressure Banana Breeder, pressure Rexcat as well. And in top lane, you're right, we didn't see how things went, but Reginald Dwight did come away with a kill, does have a CS lead, so really reversed that pace that was going on in those early minutes of the game. And I say early minutes of the game because I can't say early game because it's still 6 minutes in.
Yeah, 6 minutes in, and it's very exciting.
Yeah, this is a 2K gold lead for the side of Everstone Elite, and like this early on, that is massive to just have for yourselves. And see Feral Eevee getting so aggressive here in this mid lane.
Big trade there takes, but Banana Breeder's just about half HP, who does hit 6, can clear the wave pretty decently with that if they want to, but Feral Eevee could look for a kill here with that Shadow Surge, as, I mean, the bot and mid lane prio means that the Fool on the Xin Zhao, I mean, looking pretty good for being a Fool, as it's going to secure first dragon there.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine that Feral Eevee is kind of just waiting for that opportunity. He really just wants to land maybe one more Mistral Bolt before looking for the fight, but you can see Banana Breeder has healed up a little bit from that earlier state, but because of how well the lanes are doing, because of how healthy things are,
the Fool more than well enabled, as you said, to get that first dragon. Still a 2k gold lead for the side of the Everstone Elite. Final Spark from Banana Breeder there does do a nice chunk of damage onto Feral Eevee, but I think that, we're seeing something similar to game number 1 insofar as, like, it really, really feels that, like, Dota enjoyers, they just don't have anything they can really be effectively playing through at the moment.
Yeah, as we see Rexcat posturing top lane, it's not warded. Sentinel just popping the Ghost and running at the Poppy, pops the maximum dosage as well, getting some decent damage, but Rexcat is not fast enough to catch up, doesn't have the boots. Reginald picking very low, has to flash out as it's going to be just the Keeper's Verdict to send out the Cassante. Not sure if the ulti was needed there, but it's going to be just a safety, as we see here, caught in the binding. It's going to be the Fool who pops the Crescent Guard to send away the Cassante, jumps onto Lux as he dodges the Pathmaker. Can he have enough damage here as Reginald is looking for the turn? Vex is making it back to lane as the Fool is getting chased down by Rexcat. I don't know if he can take this fight. He's get binded again. Shadow Surge.
The Shadow Surge.
That's going to be an execute, and the reset goes onto the Dr. Mundo for a double kill. Feral Eevee is going full Umbreon on this double Shadow Surge. Goes on the third one and gets ulted over the wall, but it's into multiple members. That All Out is going all in, and it's in the wrong place, my brother, as it's going to be Rexcat going down again for the second time this game. The Fool collects his lane opponent for a third kill, and the Grubs just hand delivering. It's Feral Eevee with the Uber Eats sending Rexcat to their doom. I mean, that was just a perfect sequence of events for Everstone Elite. They get literally everything. Don't lose a single member on that play.
Yeah, I mean, that was certainly something. I mean, like, they attempted to get the
Wait,
Eevee?
maybe Banana Breeder can do something.
I don't know. I think she's out. Like, you just use binding, you just use Lucent Singularity as well as your full combo. You didn't kill. I don't think there's anything the Banana Breeder can hope to get off of that, other than scaring Feral Eevee maybe a little bit. But yeah, I mean, like, that fight, they initially tried to go on to Reginald Dwight. They tried to get onto the Poppy. As you said, the Poppy Copter, maybe not necessary, but did force Rexcat out. And then they're like, oh, like, let's collapse on the Xin Zhao then. But like, Xin Zhao was, what, 2 kills deep already, more than healthy enough to take the fight. And then the re-engage from Feral Eevee, finding that Shadow Surge, like, kill after kill after kill. That is just the ideal situation for the use of that ultimate with those resets. Now, Everstone Elite, they go from a healthy early game lead to an extremely dominant one, almost 5k pre 10 minutes. I mean, like,
oh my Lord.
That's nuts. I mean, like, obviously bot lane isn't awful for the side of DE, but this is bad if you are DE. There's no other way I can say it.
No, you're right. As we do, Reginald maybe looking for a solo kill here. Sentinel has to pop the maximum dosage to not die there. Yeah, just a really nice use, baiting the Mundo against the wall with the buckler, and then goes for the wall slam to take, pretty much a free ulti trade as they're going to get the reset here. I was just going to follow up on you, True. Yeah, you're right. It's going from bad to worse because look at the items, right? Your mid jungle is a full item up on the opponent, right? Everstone Elite have Luden's Dark Seal and the Sundered Sky against like what, a Sheen and just the book and the blasting wand. It's not looking good. They can take any fight right now, and I think they'd win.
Yeah, and as far as things to fight over on the map go, I mean, like, you're still seeing this situation of there's nothing that Dota enjoyers can really be contesting, as you said. Now, granted, there's nothing available, right? There's no dragons, there's no grubs, but the things that have been available have gone the way of the Everstone Elite. And, like, as you said, the Cassante sitting on component items, but the other part of that is Cassante is not tanky. Like, they are trying to, like, look towards this Poppy here, I believe, at this point, with Rexcat's positioning.
Okay, yeah, Reginald is pushed up pretty far. I think this might be a successful gank as we see the Steadfast Presence already used very early, and it's going to be the counter from the Pathmaker, shut down onto Reginald from that nice timing from Rexcat on that Pathmaker, canceling the knockback. It was just the Keeper's Verdict was used. I think that Steadfast Presence was used a bit early because you never want to use it before the Cassante starts charging the Pathmaker, so maybe just a bit of a misplay there. Does mean the Poppy goes down. A bit more gold in the Cassante means that it's going to be the Iceborne Gauntlet finished and some free plates on top side for this Mundo. It's not the best, it's not game-changing, but it could be in the short term for the top side of Dota enjoyers.
Yeah, and Dragon is now on the table, and you can see the Fool immediately going towards that. And knowing that the bot lane for Rex Cat, you actually saw Xin Zhao go forward, look for the wolves, look to counter jungle. But knowing that that bot lane is empty, knowing that Cassante was towards that top side, doing that little bit of critical thinking and knowing like, okay, well, bot lane's empty, that means his top lane camps are probably up. We just saw that Cassante up there in the top lane, so we can freely go for this dragon. Those neutrals continuing to go the way of the Everstone Elite. The
Junglers are
Fool getting cut out
1v1
of
here,
it.
though. Rex Cat taking the fight onto the Fool, who's healing up a lot from the passive. The fear comes out from the Vex. Rex Cat has to pop ulti now, has to pop the Pathmaker, but it's not going to be enough as Feral Eevee just goes crazy on them. I mean, this is Feral Umbreon or Espeon or whatever the one is that does a ton of damage because they force out the flash from Banana Breeder as well. Didn't even need to invest the Shadow Surge. It's just... I mean, we saw it last game, them take over on the Xerath, and I think they're going to have another game where they do that. As we see, the ulti invested, Shadow Surge hits into the Mistral Bolt, gets the kill. Rampage for this Eevee means Banana Breeder has to go down another time. 0-3 on the Lux is pretty sad about this game state. As we see the dive on the bottom lane, the Jhin did go back. Poofin is alone now. Here in the bot lane, the Chains of Corruption hit, and it's just an easy shutdown for Matrix, but maybe, okay, Ahop flashes out of the curtain called. Nice play from them, as they did have the turret aggro, but the Fool now stuck in this 1v2. Can Rex Cat find anything? Pathmaker goes short. It's going to be slow from the Iceborne, but the ulti invested from the Maokai for the disengage. As the Fool jumps back in, it's the flash away from the Jhin from the ultimate, as it's going to be the follow-through. Goes under turret, gets fourth shot, as we see maybe this is a turnaround, but Feral Eevee, like you said, True, teleports in to stop the play. A bit too much aggression from Ahop. Makes sure he goes down to the fourth shot from the Jhin, but I mean, still, it's still looking pretty damn good for... Oh my god, they're still going for it. The Fool just going into a 1v4 here. It's a flash forward from Matrix, gets the kill, but it's a shutdown over to the Jhin. Mr. Bolt gets the fear as it's a killing spree for Matrix, but that is a pretty significant shutdown for Thundermaster, getting the shutdown money on the Fool's Xin Zhao.
Yeah, I mean, great to get that shutdown off of the over-aggression that was coming through from the side of the Everstone Elite there. But unfortunately, it's really just kills. Like they're not able to get anything else on the map. There isn't a neutral objective to take, but also Rex Cat still hasn't respawned yet. You can see Banana Breeder finally responding, going towards mid, is going to get a plate for it, but the potential punish, although Shadow Surge is not available quite yet. Ahop is like a shark in the water looking for this.
And they got the slow from the little sapling. As we see on the bot lane, the ulti came back up. The fully charged Q into the kill, as it's going to be Banana Breeder on the wrong damn side of the farm, as they're going to be another banana split as they go down another time. It's just looking dire for them. And on the bot side, Matrix went on Poofin, had the ultimate just barely come up. I was looking at the timer, and Poofin flashes away, but doesn't flash away from the arrow. They die to the last auto attack, and that's flash invested from the Karma. This Karma Jhin bottom lane not having the performance you wanted due to that poor fight near the scuttle. And again, Everstone Elite are just taking everything, because that means they're going to get the Rift Herald off of that fight, off of that pick in mid. And Thundermaster's getting plates, but literally everything else is falling apart for Dota enjoyers. There's not much for them to get.
Yeah, I mean, like if you are Dota enjoyers here, like you're still in this extremely dire position. Rex Cat still not quite tanky enough, but to give credit where it's due, the Cassante is up on XP as opposed to the Fool at the moment, just likely off of a little bit of catch-up XP for one, but also being able to farm a bit more efficiently than the Fool. It kind of feels like Xin Zhao has been being really aggressive, going to lanes, not really focusing on clearing out his own camps for it at the time. But even then, you're still looking at it. Feral Eevee.
This is the Mistral Bolt from the fear, though. Poofin gets the empowered mantra tether, healing back up, but that was a very dangerous face check. I think if Feral Eevee committed the ulti there, that was surely a dead Karma.
Yeah, I mean, that would have just been another catch, and you can see, once again, Feral Eevee does have that Dark Seal in the inventory, similar to you had that with Game 1 with Xerath, but continuing to just be such a menace on this Vex, from being vexing, for lack of a better word. But and also, to give recognition to the Varus, right? Not exactly what either of us were talking about, but closer to what you mentioned than what I mentioned. You are seeing an AP Varus, and that is something that is more than capable of chunking and bursting through tank lines. So that seems to be the answer for Matrix, and having that Dusk and Dawn available is certainly something that has been enabling Varus with that build a lot more recently. But yeah, I mean, Everstone Elite continuing to be in a healthy position. Oh,
A-Hop getting caught out here, but Banana Breeder just gets exploded on the other side, dominating on the other side as they
Xin
pop up
Zhao.
the second challenge. As we see, oh my god, the Crescent Guard just does so much. As we see Xin Zhao's tearing up the backline, a double kill for the Vex, a triple kill for the Vex. Could have been a quadra if the Fool was so nice to donate it, but Xin Zhao, like you said, True, takes over the fight. I think he was just in a 1v3 for most of it, and Matrix just gets the free hit. It's an absolute domination in the team fight. Only A-Hop goes down after essentially blowing all of his abilities, so not much use out of the Maokai after that, and his team follows up, and it's just easy. That's Soul Point, that's tier 2 plates, that's tier 1 taken down. Everything is going up for the Everstone Elite, and we've said it time and time again like a broken record, but this game is looking so good for them. They're winning every team fight, barely losing a single person, even in that one.
Yeah, and I was going to say, maybe something that Dota enjoyers, like if you're watching, might be happy about is that like their gold lead wasn't getting any worse, right? It was still sitting in roughly 4.5K, but after that fight, that's been completely shattered. The gold lead is now roughly 7,000 in the favor of Everstone Elite before the 19-minute mark is nuts. Like the amount of gold that this team has, like how strong they are, is wild. A-Hop once again getting aggressed on
the fight. The Fool and A-Hop are here. A-Hop getting hit by the curtain call. Can the Fool do anything to save the tree? Cannot, but they're still looking for the fight as Reginald's going onto the backline. The Fool just dives on a Poofin. Can they do enough? They pop the Crescent Guard. A nice knock up on the backside as they get the kill on Poofin. It's the flash for the flash follow. Thundermaster goes down, and the Matrix is here just shredding everyone with the Chains of Corruption. And now the Vex didn't even need to hit the ultimate. It's a clean 5 kills just for the one. Again, the sacrificial Maokai is more than enough to just wipe out the entire team as Everstone Elite run over the team fight, are going to transition that into this tier 2 turret top. Yeah, I mean, I said it 1,000 times, and I'm sure you could say it again, True, but Everstone Elite are just running over this game.
Yeah, I mean, this is just going from bad to worse. It seems like, you're talking about like, okay, well, how bad is it for Dota enjoyers? Like, can it get worse? And then 30 seconds later, hey, it's gotten worse.
It's a lot worse, yeah.
Yeah. Like, obviously, this Jhin Thundermaster is not, in a bad position. 4-3-1, while not the most glamorous of scorelines, is not a negative one. But then for literally everyone else on the team, you have a negative scoreline, right? 0-3-2 on the Maokai, 2-6-4. That is, strictly speaking, as far as KDA is concerned, breaking even, or not even breaking even. You are at even. 0-6-3 for the Lux, 0-5-4 for the Karma. The entirety of Dota enjoyers are being disallowed from participating in this game. They are not playing League of Legends. They are playing a survival horror. And, for the entirety, like A-Hop is the only person who's getting aggressed on.
Shadow Surge onto the backline. The Jhin is getting the heals and shield. Reginald taking very low, gets hit with the third Natofa, and they finally get the kill on the Poppy. Rexcat doesn't manage to get the ultimate, but he's looking for more. Walks into 3 members, hits the Pathmaker, but he's just taken so low. Hits the ultimate finally. All out means they're all the way dead as Rexcat goes down for the 7th time this game. A-Hop now running down Sentinel, gets the Ignite. Can they get more? They had the knockback. Poofin getting the empowered shield for them to survive. And I mean, it's a 1-for-1. That's like probably the best thing you could ask for at this point for Dota enjoyers as the curtain call is pulled. Shooting the bullets. I mean, the Fool is just tanking them up. Feral Eevee taking a little low, but Matrix doesn't even feel that one. Hits the Chains of Corruption. Big damage from the Blight stacks. And like you said, the survival horror game is only barely getting better for them, True. Jhin got a pretty decent shutdown there. I mean, didn't die to the Poppy, who was running him down. So pretty good for them. Banana Breeder now getting some gold, being able to farm back up as well. Solo gold, bounty claimed means the gold lead swings a little bit back. Instead of 10K, it's only 8K, but it's still pretty horrendous for the team. I mean, there's not a lot of hope, but maybe they can find a miracle team fight if they want to take it to game 3.
I mean, killing Poppy is all well and good, right? But like, if you like taking a look at the people that are dying on the side of Everstone Elite, right? Poppy has died twice. A-Hop, Maokai has died 4 times. The only other person who's died even once on the team, is the
Shadow Surge. Means just a kill. Not even worth anything, but maybe this is a trade kill for Thundermaster. That's a huge shutdown. Over 1K gold lead, but the TP goes in. Can they get Rexcat? He has no all-out. Is just taking... Actually, he does have it, but he's just going to get taken down by the Lethal Temple Varus, shredded apart by the Blight stacks, and now the Fool looking for more. picked up the Cassante. Nice little KS as we see onto Sentinel is frontlining. Thundermaster's doing their best to shoot the bullets into them, but oh my god,
Oh my
Matrix just has
lord.
so much damage. The Blight stacks explode as he's just gonna run down the Jhin, who has no more people to defend him. Matrix gets a double kill there and doesn't even die, just barely living at 1 HP. Means that there's just only sadness for the side of the Dota enjoyers, as it's going to be them knocking on the tier 3. I think they're going to take it and probably reset. I mean, Banana Breeder is here. Oh my god, the shutdown actually snipes it with the final spark, meaning they get a huge gold injection. I mean, that's a decent shutdown. The gold lead is still at 8k, but I think Banana Breeder's happy to do that. They stop the push for now.
Yeah, I mean, solid shutdowns into the inventory of Dota enjoyers, right? I do believe it was Thundermaster that got the shutdown on the Vex. Now it is Banana Breeder who gets the shutdown on Varus. I do want to point out that their shutdowns were so substantial, they still have bounties after dying.
Wait, Shadows. Oh my god. Yeah, Banana Breeders goes down to the Shadow Surge. It follows up, and now it's on to the Karma. Karma stunned up, getting taken down. Rexcat is tanking a lot, and Sentinel. Oh my god, Thundermaster just getting taken down. The Zinja flashes the follow. I mean, Reginald taken solo, but doesn't go down. It's enough. Feral Eevee blasts apart Rexcat. And we were just talking about how maybe there's a miracle fight after all these shutdowns, but Varus wasn't even there, and that was a 4v5, and Everstone Elite just ran it over again.
I mean, at this point, Everstone Elite are just functionally slapping Dota enjoyers with their wallets. I mean, like, there is really no question about it. Like, yes, getting those shutdowns does feel really good, right? It feels nice. But at the end of the day, the point I was trying to make is, even after the shutdowns, Vex and Varus still have a bounty, right? That is how big their shutdowns are, right? Like, you cashed in, and they're like, hey, there's actually more you can cash in on if you kill them again. And at that point, you're like, oh, what do you mean again? Right? Like, just like,
yeah, you gotta kill this guy 3 times if you want to get the full gold bounty. Oh, Rexcat. Okay, no, I think it's gonna be chill for now. But no, true. Please continue.
No, like it's such a frustrating position for Dota enjoyers to be in, because like it's only highlighting the amount of work that they have to do to be successful, and like you're trying to funnel gold in where you can. Oh, huge steal!
They just got the flash steal frame perfect. I mean, they're gonna die for it for sure, but I mean, Rexcat delaying the end of the game a little bit longer. Shadow Surge just barely dodged out by Banana Breeder, who hits the the light binding, but they're slowed up by the wind becomes lightning and shut down. Not shut down, just put down by Matrix on the Varus. I mean, that is a Baron steal. That's big, but again, like you said, True, still a 10k gold lead. Dragon Soul knocking on the front doors. I think the the EV squad, Everstone Elite, just want to end the game here, even without the Baron.
Yeah, I mean, like, okay, like getting the Baron steal, that's necessary, right? Like you cannot let this team that is hyper snowballing have the Baron. They already have Soul as well, but
Curtain call to clear the wave.
I think the best phrase even to use is like it's necessary, but it's not sufficient, right? Everything that Dota enjoyers have done, like in terms of their shutdowns, in terms of the kills that they have gotten for themselves, are all necessary, but they're not sufficient. They haven't found a strong victory for themselves. They've just been going even at best in a lot of these fights. Although Mundo is getting kind of tanky.
Yeah, he has to pop the maximum dosage. 3-man fear. Now the Fool onto a 3-man knockup, and it's just going to be a massacre as the Matrix is allowed to free hit, cleaning them up for a double kill. On the other side, Feral Eevee gets a double kill themselves. No need for the ult. It's going to be a beautiful wombo combo. 3-man fear into a 3-man crescent guard means it's going to be no 3 games for us for the first time in a long time. I mean, I don't even have to say it anymore. Feral Eevee just collects another one. And, I mean, what was a very quick, a very dominating game, 40 kills to 9, and the first 2-0 that we've seen in a very long time in Franchise Premier League. Everstone Elite just take Dota enjoyers for a quick series for tonight.